Hello. This is like the only major city I've ever been in, living in or just passing through, where if someone sees you with the cigarette, they just kind of expect you to give them one. It's fucking bizarre. Like, sometimes when I used to hang out at a lot of clubs, play a lot of nightclubs when I was in bands and shit, and occasionally when everybody's drunk outside, people will ask you for a cigarette. Hey man, you got any cigarette? Yeah. But it's kind of rare even then. In fact, like, I can't even think of a time that happened. Here though, it's like people just see you with one. It's like the fat kids in the class, if you bring cookies, everybody just kind of assumes that you're gonna give them one. It's fucking bizarre. The ones I like too, like today, I ran into it, where they're sitting down, like across the street or something, and they start hollering for you to bring them over a cigarette. I'm not fucking even kidding. But what I do is I have my ignore powers, where my ignore is set to like 11. So because that's the only thing you can do. Because if you say like, no, sorry, I don't have, you can't do that. I can't go into the examples of why it's not good to do that. It's better to just ignore. And like, I don't care how close you are, I'm just gonna ignore you. Because if you're calling me and you're not using my name, that means you don't know me. And if you don't know me and you're calling me, it's not for anything good. It's just because you want something that you think I have or that I have. And that's it. And it's not about being an asshole. Like, when I first came here, I was cool. I was like, yeah, sure, man, yes. And then after a while, I'm going home with like half a pack of cigarettes, and they're $16 each. So you just have to at some point say, I'm not doing that anymore, And so that's what I gotta do. But the thing I do is I do the ignore. The ignore works the best. Because when someone's harassing you for something, any answer you give them is not going to be any good. There's so many crazy examples like that. Not just of cigarettes, but like of money or fucking anything you have in your hand. You had a guy chase me and my friend down for a fucking Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, I just ignore him. But anything you got, it's pretty crazy. I've never seen that happen anywhere else, though. Anywhere else I've lived or walked through or spent any amount of significant time in. And it's not just like, street dwellers. This is like the tourists will do it to you too. From all different parts of the world. It's weird. It's just like something that happens here. I've only ever seen that here. But yeah, I was talking to excuse me. I was talking to my wife about something, and she jogged a part of my memory that helped me put a couple things together. I've been talking a lot about CERN with people lately, online, trying to throw theories around, but nothing ever really resonated or felt right or hit that inner tuning fork, as Matt from Quantum calls it. Like your instinct, when you just know something it resonates with you because it's a frequency. Truth has its own frequency, just like lies have their own frequency. Everything has their own frequency or its own radio station. So you know that you're hearing rock when Bob Seger comes into your living room. Because it's a frequency, it's a station, And that's why sometimes stuff will resonate with you as being true or false, and you can't really understand why. You just know it is. It's the gut instinct, too. Because they say it's been said that the soul takes its spot in your body inside your gut. And there's a lot of normie science over the past few years even that talk about the importance of gut health, like your intestinal health, and how it can affect everything. And it's kind of starting to coalesce with all the even very ancient ideas about the soul being housed in your gut. Your gut instinct is more intelligent than your analytical mind. Like you'll be standing in the street and a bus will be hurling down the road. It looks like he might be coming for you. Your gut instinct will immediately tell you, get out of the way. But your head is thinking, well, I don't know, is he really going to hit me? He must see me, right? He must see me. I've had this exact thing happen here. And your gut's going, get out of the way, get out of the way. But your brain's going, well, he's not, I don't have to jump out of the way or anything. Like he's going to notice me, right? And you know what happens after that. Yeah, I've had that. I've been hit here by cars 3 times walking. It's just like what I was saying the other day. It's like you'll see stuff and you'll see people behave in a way you've never seen anywhere else. It's fucking bizarre. And like I said the other day, I think a lot of it does have to do with there's a lot of cast-offs from the mainland here. You know, my friend calls it the Misfit Island of Misfit Toys. This place is cranking now. The kids are back from Twisted Sister. It was great. But, and it's true. It's like people that had to get out of the mainland for whatever trouble they were in, but they're too shady to pull a passport together, tend to end up here. You know what I mean? Like all the biggest assholes I meet aren't native islanders or even locals. They're transplants like me from all over the mainland, because their local community got so fed up with their shit that they had to get off that whole continent where no one can drive to them. So, they end up here. And I think that has a lot to do with the sort of crazy behavior. I mean, it's one aspect of it. There's some other stuff happening here in the spiritual realm that does affect a lot of things too. This place is like a front line in that respect. Many believe that in this very area was where Lemeria was. Now, Lemeria is almost like a companion city to Atlantis. And they were in some kind of struggle with each other. I've always kind of felt that Atlantis was the good guys, air quotes, and Lemeria were the bad guys. But I've had some people tell me that's not really the case. I don't know. They're both involved in magic, like with the K. These American spirits, man, they don't stay lit. But there was some kind of cataclysm, probably around the same time as the Atlantis one happened, and Lemeria sank. And supposedly, that's what's underneath this area, way beneath the waves. And I kind of believe it, because there's a real, dark kind of fucking nexus here, especially when you go downtown. Yeah, that's the other thing too. You have people walk so close behind you. I can smell that girl's like breath. God, that's so bizarre. So, see how much room there is in the sidewalk too? And people fucking don't know how to walk on it. It's fucking amazing. Like, I just had, I mean, you just saw I had to stop because she's fucking on top of me. It was uncomfortable. That's why I smoke. Because the smoke keeps people away. But anyway, I don't know how much of that could be possible. The Lemeria thing, others have said that this area possibly was or still is a part of what would be the biblical Garden of Eden, the paradise. And I kind of get it, but I don't know. But yeah, getting back to Lemeria, there's just a dark energy here. And it's stronger downtown, like over where Chinatown is. Chinatown had a lot of ritual type stuff going on. In fact, where the Verizon store is, there used to be a sacrificial altar where they'd do blood sacrifices and stuff. I believe the 3 huge fires that swept through Chinatown over the past 200 years, I forget when the last one was. 2 in the 20th century, and 1 was before it. But catastrophic death toll, man. Like crazy. A lot of people died. It seems like that would be like a purposeful thing, especially when it happens by the 3rd time, you know? Ritual, offering. A lot of these, the weirdos that control a lot of stuff, they get their power through the dark gods they worship. And they require sacrifice, blood sacrifice. And that's the reason for the wars in the world. Because governments don't fight each other organically. They're all like one government, you know, it's all one thing. And people would have a hard time understanding that. And it is a tough concept to wrap your head around, but the truth is, it's exactly what it is. People worry about the one world government thing. It's already here. It's been here. There are no separate governments. They're all the same. And if you really look into it, the behavior of each country and how they work with each other, I mean, just look at the Antarctic Treaty. Every nation on Earth signed that. In the 1940s, it was after Operation High Jump and Operation Paperclip. And actually it came right after Operation Fishbowl. Now Operation Fishbowl, High Jump's when they discovered the barrier. Operation Fishbowl is when they tried to destroy it. And this is all well documented. You could find this information from from normie places like Wikipedia has pages on these things. Fishbowl and Paperclip and High Jump. High Jump was basically they had come with Paperclip. Well, Operation Paperclip was a multifaceted thing that it brought a lot of scientists who were working for the Nazis over to America to work for the U.S. Rocket propulsion, people that rocket scientists and things like that. They came over to use their experience here, and it was all in service of the barrier, or the firmament, or the dome, or whatever you want to call it. It's very easy to get sidetracked here with this whole thing. I started with Lemeria, now I'm talking about I was just about to go into what it's made out of. It's like, well, you just pick a fucking topic and stay with it. So, How did I get from Lemeria to here? Anyway, there's a dark energy. And then the dark energy is fed by, blood sacrifice. So it's happening downtown, I think, and the reason it's so strong there. And it was because of it that I came into understanding all this stuff. It was kind of it's a process, and the process is still ongoing. But when I first moved here, I was aware of some esoteric stuff from always having an interest in the sort of Stranger Things and the, not the show, but I was a coast-to-coast listener most of my life. I was always into the, conspiracy stuff and UFOs and things like that. So I already had a predilection for it. But one thing I wasn't was a believer. Like, I was a atheist. Like, not hardcore. I didn't give people a hard time about it like a lot of the atheists do now. It's funny because atheism has become like its own kind of religion with the same kind of, they have their own doctrine and their own zealots. But the dark energy, vortex, which my friend pointed out is probably exactly what it is what got me on this road to understanding all of it through a situation he was having. And I'll tell those stories at some point, but it's pretty interesting. The point is, it's the dark energy here that got me to learn about all this stuff. The significant portions of this kind of stuff. And plus some personal experiences I had. But anyway, the remains of Lemeria, if it is bubbling underneath us, or if this is part of what used to be the landmass of Lemeria, has a lot of dark stuff happening with it. Like a lot of real dark magic in machines. Things that would seem like science fiction to us. Just like Atlantis. So, there's residual from that, I believe, which is probably also had something to do with or is aided in its darkness by the sacrifices in the Chinatown area with all the giant fires that just ripped through the place and flattened it like 3 times. Of course, one was in that period of the 1800s where everything in every city was kind of, we all had fires all at once. Like the San Francisco fire, the Chicago fire. There was a disappearance of people in Boston. It was almost like a reset, I think is what happened there. So the dark vortex, it's fed and feeds off of the lower vibrational energy. And the reason I think it flourishes there is because of the people there. Up until very, very recently, when they're trying to clean it up now, it's the place where a lot of the drug addicted end up, whether they're homeless or, it's mostly homeless. I mean, there are tons of camps down there, like little places to camp, but on the streets themselves, like where in the daytime they're just shops, like little mom and pop shops, they would be sleeping in front of those. So there's a lot of low vibrational energy. People with low vibrational energy are that way through depression, addiction, sadness, anger, anything like that that's low vibration. And it makes it easy for entities to slip in and out of a person, just like a taxi cab, if they're on that frequency, because it all comes down to frequency again. So if you're in those frequencies, you're much easier to be hijacked. And what happens is that vortex just sucks that up, and then it makes the people worse, who in turn become lower vibrational or a wider bandwidth of the lower vibration, and it feeds the vortex. And it's a symbiotic kind of relationship. Now, so that's where I think the Lemeria thing might have some kind of truth to it. Finding research for Lemeria is next to impossible. I mean, there's really nothing about it anywhere. The name pops up here, though. Like the name Lemeria is used in a lot of times in conjunction with like crystal shops or healing centers, which is kind of odd that it would be connected with those kind of places. It kind of shows you that there's something to it, or shows me that there's kind of some sort of connection there with what would be considered the supernatural, you know. But yeah, so I think taking this all the way around, I think that's where a lot of the odd behavior stems from. The dark vortex, or the dark energy, or the lower vibrational energy, or whatever you want to attribute it to. It's all kind of related. I mean, you know, I'm an older guy. I've been around. I've lived in major cities. I've traveled through major cities for work or for, you know, just to visit. And like other people that are from the mainland that I know, friends, will agree. Oh, Parliament. Atomic Dog. But, is that Atomic Dog? I don't know. But the point is, forget about Atomic Dog. The point is, it's not just me thinking this. Others recognize it as well. That there's just some really off-the-wall behavior. People will act in a way that, you know, I've never seen before. Like the cigarette thing is just one tiny aspect of it, but it is, like if you just, me and one of my friends from the mainland, we always say, like, if some of our friends or people we knew he's from the East Coast too, came out here, he said they'd be like taking swings at people within 5 minutes because they're not used to the way things are. It's very, there's not a lot of boundaries with people here. Like where I lived most of my life in Massachusetts, you kind of do your own thing. You know, you're walking down the street, kind of doing your own thing. You don't really talk to other people, unless, you know, sometimes if I'm like in an elevator and you're in close quarters with someone, it would just be uncomfortable to not say something, you know, then I'd talk to them. But you just mind your own business. Like, if someone wants to stop you and talk to you, it's like, it's a fuck, why? You know what I mean? Especially if you don't know them. Here it's just like, if you catch the right person's eye, it's like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, I don't know you, but I guess we're talking, you know? And at first I was like, wow, everybody's really friendly here. And there are still, I mean, that is some of it. There are some nice people who just want to talk for whatever reason. I'm not used to that, but, you know, I'll do it. But after a while, you start to see, oh, this person just wants to hustle something, or they want something. Or they're just nosy. It's really weird. And that goes with the whole cigarette thing. And the scams, you know, a lot of people have a hustle here too, but the hustle is really bad. And that's because their hustles didn't work where they used to live. So when they flee here, they bring their bad hustles with them. One of my favorites is the "we were in jail together" hustle. Like, oh yeah, I remember we were locked up in OCCC together. It's like, no. Yeah, I remember, and I lent you this amount of money. This is a common one. At first, I would like just talk to these people that would try these bad scams and just be like, what? But then I realized, why even do that? So that's when you get the ignore switch goes on. And it's a tough thing to stick to, especially when someone gets real close to you. But with practice, it gets pretty good. So yeah, I gotta go over to this ABC and grab something to eat. But yeah, Lemeria, odd behavior, cigarettes.